Bats. Things I know a lot about. Long, tubular, ball-hitting devices. Whack. You know, there's a theory that some people are like, hey, if you want self-defense, you can put a sock on top of your bat, so when you hit the person with the bat, they grab the sock, and you can rip the bat out of their hands, then you can whack them with the bat again. And I would like to let you know, if you're in the dark in your own house, and you whack a man with a bat, and he grabs the bat with his bare hands, it's his house now. You don't take a second whack. You just hand it over. You just go, that's it for us. The keys are in the back. I've left the gas on, and I will be lighting a match.
That was a good story, but I fear I have something to tell you.
It is that I'm so damn attractive.
Wrong type of bat.
This is a ZeFrank video. ZeFrank, silent assassin.
Those bats.
Like, how does your mom see you? In the back of her head, she has antenna. Echolocation, and you smell bad. Ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Maybe you should warn me next time.
I did!
Bats. The fury birds of the night. But they are not birds. No, they are mammals in the order Chiroptera. There's a crapload of them, and there's all different sorts, too. About 20% of mammalian species are bats.
Like chiropractor.
Yeah.
Are they related?
Scrawny, weaselly, unsavory.
Fake.
Real, but they sound fake?
No, chiropractors are fake.
But bats are real. So how do we compare these two?
How do we know they're real?
I've seen a bat.
How do you know it was a
Just
bat?
met a guy who killed a bat.
All right. Jesus Christ.
It's two. About 20% of mammalian species are bats. Look at that.
Damn.
They keep coming, don't they? Now, you don't see them all that often because they're all Heidi, not their names. I mean, come on, Heidi's no name for a bat. Bartholomew Banks or Johnny Five Fingers, that's a real bat name. Petunia Featherbottoms, that's another one.
Now that is a motherfucking face, ain't it? Damn, that's a face.
The point I'm trying to make is that when the bird figured out how to fly, it stretched out its arm, grew some fancy underarm hair, which turned into feathers. I'm quoting science. And by that time, most of the hand bits sort of got in the way. So most of those bones shrunk, fused, or disappeared. Except for this long one here, which they kept so they could flip us off. Science. Bats, however, went for a different arrangement. They went all in on hands.
Okay, see, that's the cute profile that I'm used to seeing.
Right.
Science. Bats, however, went for a different arrangement. They went all in on hands.
Hella hands.
But you know how my mother used to say, if you keep playing with yourself, you're going to grow scrotum skin between your fingers.
Your mom told you that? And did you start or stop? Like, what was the effect?
I thought it was hairy palms.
Hell.
Also that.
We had a religious family. They just said you just burn for eternity. You touch your wee-wee, you burn for the rest of your life.
I only ever read about the hairy palms thing.
Well, that should give you an idea about what bats have been up to throughout their evolutionary history. There's consequences. And it's not just between the fingers, the skin attaches right to the body. And look at this one, it's got a flap back there by the nethers. You know, that has some stank to it. But this isn't just some veiny, floppy skin. This is a finely tuned instrument of flightedness. Elastin fibers run through the wing the long way, give it some integrity. And there's muscles not attached to bone that run from front to back.
Oh, those are
With the
muscles.
help of these tiny sensory hairs, these structures allow the bat to adjust the stiffness of the wing membrane during flight. And that's important because this isn't just some simple up and down flappy business.
Right.
It's complicated because each of those fingers can move independently.
Oh,
so they're
shit.
changing the shape of their wing all the time. On the downstroke, they'll spread those wings out wide like your mom's umbrella. Burn. That gets the lift going, but then they tuck it in a bit on the upstroke so as not to push themselves back downwards like an idiot. Come on, people, they're better than that. But that's just the basics.
They do what? Not push themselves back down on the upstroke?
Burn. That gets the lift going, but then they tuck it in a bit on the upstroke so as not to push themselves back downwards like an idiot. Come on, people, they're better than that.
Oh,
but
I
that's
see.
just the basics. Look what happens when you ambush them mid-flight with a puff of air, which is apparently something science hippies do when they're bored. They can right themselves with a single contorted wing beat. Quick, Dale, here comes another one. Blow in the tube. Damn it, Dale, it's still flying. Where'd you learn how to blow, suck school? And that's what it's like to work in a science lab. Gotta have thick skin like Dale.
Right.
Anyway, these bats better be good at flying because they're not all that great at walking or scooching or whatever you call that. You keep that up, you're gonna chafe your nitzels and your netters.
Bro, this is such a roller coaster
It's
of
just a crawling ball sack.
like just very cool to just very disturbing. Oh God.
I mean, there are exceptions. The vampire bat, for example, gets along just fine.
That
it's a
is
good-looking
not a
casual
fun
stroll. And they can run, too.
Oh
It's
my
not as
God.
Oh, we
suave
have
as the
seen that
walking.
one, yeah.
Has more of an in-a-hurry on crutches vibe. But it works. Looks better than you trying to fly, I'll tell you that.
True.
And they don't skip the gym either. Gotta stay in shape. I think this one's more into the elliptical. Here we go. Now that's getting your steps in. And if your gym crush
Golly.
walks in, you can always crank it up a notch. Anyway,
You know what it looks like? It looks like those guys who like put their hands and arms through the sweater and like run around. Yeah.
that's getting your steps in. And if your gym crush walks in, you can always crank it up a notch. Anyway, they're good on their feet because they do a lot of this. Sort of like a very low-key rodeo. And they gotta be able to move to the good spots. Take a little bite and lap up some blood, and that's the only thing they eat. Now, if you think a cow's an easy target, try getting some blood from the foot of a chicken. At least I think that's what's going on. Could be a sort of foot fetish thing, or toe sucking, or maybe an oral pedicure. There's a business idea. But listen, I don't know this bat and I don't know this chicken, so who knows? Oop, didn't like that. But it turns out if all you eat is blood, it's not the most balanced diet. And these little bastards burn through some energy. And if they don't eat for 2 or 3 days, they die. So you know what they do? They share. Bonk. If a buddy or someone in the fam missed a meal, a bat that recently ate will regurgitate blood right into their mouths. They're adorable.
Move your head. I'm watching them spit in each other's mouths to survive. Come on. It's spit for survival. It's like a guy with a really specific fetish just trying to like really make it catch on.
If we're like at that point, right? Just kill me.
If we're at the point that I have to puke in your mouth for us both to live,
Right.
we're both going to die.
Just kill me.
Because now you're killing me. At least if I have food in me, I could save us both the time. Like Tony Stark when he was stuck in that cave, you know? He ate those babies.
Do that for a friend with your Taco Bell. Bottom line is you gotta eat how you gotta eat. No judgments. You want to stick your tongue into a flower's sexy parts? Go for it. Just be good at what you do. You might think it's easy sucking on a flower, but it's not. First off, depending on the flower and how heavy you are, you might have to hover. Now, I don't know how much hovering you've done, but it's like treading water, but without the water. By changing the shape and angle of the wing beats, some bats can generate lift in the downstroke and upstroke.
That's what you did during that teching
Oh
game.
my God. Let it die.
Beating his
Let
ass.
it go.
Fucking him up. That shit was
It helps to have those back muscles. Look at them. But even if you can get there and hold still, in some of these flowers, you gotta go deep for the sugary waters. And for that, some bats have evolved incredible tongues. Sorry, quick aside, that thing on the left looks like a steampunk vulture. Now, these tongues can be quite long, but that's just the half of it. Watch this one for a second and see if you can notice something a bit odd. The nectar's going down, but it doesn't retract its tongue. It's not sucking it up either. Instead, it has these 2 deep grooves along the sides of its tongue. Deep enough so the edges can curl around and form a sort of tube. Muscles lining that tube contract in wave-like patterns, which, with the help of capillary action, forms a kind of conveyor belt for the nectar.
What?
Look right around here and you'll see some nectar get pulled up into the mouth. Right there. Bats in the genus Glossophagia have a different trick. It's a bit more what you'd expect, a lapping motion. But look at that big-ass drop of nectar that they pull up.
Yeah.
The tips of their tongues are lined with a whole feather dusters.
What
Right.
in God's name is that shit?
Horrifying.
Worth of specialized papillae. But why stop there?
Oh, papillae.
As their tongue extends outward, the tip becomes engorged with blood. This causes the papillae to become erect, trapping a whole buttload
can
of
see
nectar
it.
through capillary action. Imagine that, having an erection on the tip of your tongue. I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to. Probably best not to search for that either. Where were we? Oh, right. Now, if a bat gets thirsty for some plain old water, it can have a drink on the fly. They slow down a bit so they can have a sip, not a throat.
This is literally how me and Skitten wake up and drink water in the morning.
simple, changing the angle of their wings and increasing wing beats. They don't go to a full-on hover, that's just a waste of energy. But they're able to do this slowed-down flying with the help of the ground effect, where the air's interaction with the surface reduces drag and flying becomes more efficient. Now, if they screw it all up and land in the drink, some bats are able to swim. But it's like jumping into a pool with a raincoat on. You're not winning any races, but you can get yourself to the side. Now, on the other hand, if a moth falls into the water and a bat's nearby, it's oh, guess not. Honest mistake, let's try again. Not that time either. Now, to be fair, this isn't all the bat's fault. It's not drunk, it's just that you're watching the outcome of some evolutionary warfare. Now, you know how bats hunt, and I know you know how bats hunt. But to explain this, it's best to have a refresher. Bats use their vagina. Just kidding. That's a vocal cord. What's wrong with you? Like us, bats vibrate their vocal cords to create a wide range of frequencies, most of which are too high for us to hear. Now, there are some fruit bats that echolocate that don't use their vocal cords and instead click their tongues. But regardless, you know the drill. They make these sounds and then listen for the echo. Many bats will focus the sound in a particular direction, and it's not just by turning their head either. Some adjust the shape of their mouths to broaden or narrow the sound beam that they emit. Others keep their mouths closed and let the sound come out their nostrils. In some cases, the noses of these bats have become very...
Say it again. Say it to his face. Because you had on them drunk glasses before. Now say it to that. Now you see the full...
This is a different bat.
Come on, say it.
No.
specialized like satellite dishes. You can see the nose and the ears working together to fine-tune that signal. That tongue clicking back can change the direction of its sound without doing anything noticeable, at least from the outside. Now, when those sounds echo back, they have all sorts of information in them.
There's a
the
lot
sooner it comes
here.
back, the closer the object. If it arrives first in one ear, you get a sense of the direction. That sound beam will bounce off different parts of an object with slight delays. And those little echoes will interfere with each other in patterns that give the bat an idea of the shape of a thing.
Right.
The bats can also tell what direction something's moving in. If something's coming closer, the frequency of the echo will shift up. This bat is listening to a recording of pulses that shift up, and it takes off thinking something's closing in. Now, all of this comes in handy if you're trying to track down a flying insect. If they pick one up in the distance, they start focusing their pulses on where they think the insect is headed. As they get closer and move to intercept, the pulses get quicker. And quite honestly, it looks like it'd be a whole lot of fun. Certainly better than waiting in line for a burger. Of course, it's not as easy as all that, and bats spend quite a bit of their time missing. This is a real flight path with a red dot for each time it missed. If you slowed down those pulses, you'd hear and then look at that, he just sort of gives up, reevaluating his whole life. Should have been a fruit bat. And just when he's at his lowest, a moth flies right into his mouth. And that's not all. He made a drawing that looks just like your dick. Now, one of the reasons for all this missing is that...
Okay. Your dick looks like... You know what it looks like is that handicap something that guy made from that Daily Dose episode
You
that
know
we
what
watched.
it looks like? That. But also, it looks like nervous.
Uh-huh.
It looks like the, remember the Proud Family movie with the little peanut head?
Okay.
And the little
right.
It looked like a little peanut
head.
head.
I'm thinking more mushroom, more natural.
No, look. See, you're not remembering. Peanut head, Proud Family. Yeah, it looked just like that.
It does kind of look like that.
This one with the hat.
It does kind of look like that. It, in fact, does kind of look like Peanut from the problem. I can't deny it. Yeah. That's pretty good.
But also...
Touche.
Also, just... So normally, like, ZeFrank makes a lot of, like... innuendos
I know.
And, like, he'll allude.
He's like, I'm tired of y'all not getting my shit. It's a penis joke. Your dick is weird. That's the joke. Stop fucking with me. Y'all don't be laughing at my shit.
Is everything okay?
Hey, you can tell he's been on the internet too long, man.
I guess.
Now, one of the reasons for all this missing is that some insects got wise to this sonar business. If they stand still on a flat background, they can become sonically invisible from some angles. Apparently not that angle, but there's others, I'm told. Some moths rub specialized body bits together, creating a barrage of sound that effectively jams the bat's sonar. You know what's worse? Bats do that to each other. Right here, a science hippie captured footage of a bat trying to catch a moth, while off-screen, these other bats are basically heckling, like some jackass yelling dingleberry while you're setting up for your golf swing. Anyway, it's no surprise that some bats said, "F fuck it, I'll just go fishing. At least that way, oh, for sakes, he missed that too. But the fish is like, woohoo, I'm flying. I mean, bats eat all sorts of things. Frogs, birds, basilisks. And I'll tell you, there's nothing better than having a big meal and then hanging upside down. Get to taste everything twice. It's not the easiest maneuver, by the way. You fly up and then stall while you flip upside down. I mean, it takes some practice. This one used his face. Once they're up there, they can lock in with those little feet. There's a trick to them so they don't have to use energy to hold on. Each claw is connected to a tendon that has a little bumpy section on it. And that tendon runs through a sheath that has some grippage. When the bat hangs down, it pulls on the tendon and flexes the claw. And those two rough parts come together and hold everything in place. And they can stay that way without passing out, because they have a bunch of one-way valves in their blood vessels. And some of those vessels, especially in the wing, actively pump blood, so it doesn't all pool in the noggin. Now, some bats didn't...
That's cute, and like the way that the vampire mother is like, my cute young. And you see their faces go, but they're hideous. They're ugly little demon bastards.
Go with that whole claw setup. Instead, they went for these little pads. The Spix disc-wing bat holds onto the sides of tubular plants. It uses those discs like little suction cups. Then there's the sucker-footed bat that doesn't use suction. Come on, science. Instead, it uses fluid, which is used to attach its pad through wet adhesion. This means it can hold on tight when forces are parallel to the surface, like with gravity or some dude. But if you pull at an angle, you can unstick yourself. And listen, we're not even scratching the surface here. We haven't even talked about Reginald Buxley or Sammy the Screw, Minerva Higglesworth, Pugsy Longstank, Henrietta Lollipops, Button, Professor Horst Vangerdank, Marvin Featherbottom, Petunia's husband, Ordok, the Destroyer of Worlds. Oh crap, sorry, this one's Ned. This is Ordok, Destroyer of Worlds.
Okay, there we go.
You'd be pissed off too if you had matching eyebrow pimples. Those ones hurt.
Yeah, it got pretty terrifying there at the end of that, actually. I'm not going to lie. But, you know, a mixed bag.
Whenever I think of bats, I think of the cute bats. And so then every time I'm reminded that the ugly bats exist, it's so horrifying.
You understand now where they're things of legend. The more I learn about bats, the more I'm really happy that insects have found ways to have bat jammers.
Yeah.
Because just like, you know, you hear about the dragonflies just being like a horde.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Unstoppable, Jeeper Creeper, Jason mix.
Yeah.
You know, bats are a lot of the same way. And they're like, no, man, we've evolved. Insects still on top. All right, we'll see you guys in the next one, dude. ZeFrank, we have our support. If you're struggling or getting unsolicited dick pics, let us know. We'll also join in the harassment. This is my wife, Miss 90K herself. We'll see y'all around. Peace.